Here we are again. Okay, I'm going to quickly print something. This is the actual demo part. I think my camera cuts off after 15 minutes, so this won't be long. And that last video got cut off, but it was, I don't know where, but it just shuts down after 15 minutes. I think I was pointing out that that in the studio, when we do the workshop, we will have various stations. One for printing, one for inking, one for doing the chine colle, one for doing the blocking. And it's a bit cramped in here. So here we go. The first thing I'm going to do is do some scratching. I'll show you. So I'm using the back of a plate here, but this is basically a plate, and I'll make some marks on it. I'll scratch on it. I'm going to just watch this. I mean, I should be doing this on a piece of paper, or normally, as you've seen, I over there. Anyway, look, just a bunch of scribbles. Now, as I do this, the scribe, I don't want it to cut. Listen to this. I'm turning this thing so that it scratches. It doesn't cut. No matter how I sharpen these scribes or nails, it's very difficult to have every side of the scribe actually scratch. And it's that scratching sensation that I find works best. So I'm just making a bunch of lines. I can cross hatch, one way, hatch one way, cross hatch the other. Now you can't see what I'm doing here. The way that I would be able to see is to, let's see if I can get this, is to tilt it so that it catches the light. And I don't know whether you can actually see it or not, but potentially there we should see the scratch marks, and that's what I do, is I try and kind of look at the reflection. You'll have to do this in the studio. I'll make a few more little scratchy lines. I mean, I've actually taken these plates life drawing, and I have no idea, I'm not really looking here, but there, I've made a bunch of marks. So let's go over and see what we've got. Maybe I'm going to have to, I'll bring this back. So I put on my glove. I'm going to ink up 2 plates here at the same time. There's one. Here's the other, the smelly mammal, smelly ancient mammal. So here they are. I've applied the ink, and as you can see, it's a little too much. I can see my lines. I need to wipe that ink off. Here's the other one. Ink applied. Whoops. With the ink applied, you can see the smelly mammal in there, but I'm going to wipe the ink off, and I'm going to use a kind of a dirty cloth to start with. And I'm just lightly wiping. I'm not scrubbing it out, I'm just lightly, deftly, I bunch it up and just lightly, deftly wipe it. Now I'm going to try and keep a bit of plate tone. I want it to be a little dirty, so I'm not going to go and get some clean wiping fiber, cleaner wiping fiber, because I want it to be kind of, I want some plate tone on it. Now I'm going to wipe the plate I just scratched. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. So here is the plate I just scratched. You can vaguely see the lines. You can also see the circle from the print that's on the other side coming through. I mean, I'm just trying to save money here. So here is the other one. Now, I've done that. I'm going to put a little bit of chine colle in as well. Chine colle. I've got this old book, and I'm going to take a. This is the paper I need is actually close to newsprint. You can't use magazines. So I've taken a little bit of, I've ripped it out. It's very, very thin like newspaper. And I'm going to just try and put that on the plate. So first, throw my blankets back, clean my hands. Like so. Make sure they're good and clean. Pretty cleaner. Then I'm going to take my piece of paper. Two bits of paper. I'm blotting it. I don't know whether you can see this. I'm over here on the blotting station. I'm blotting it. I've got a drawing on the back. Sorry about that. So that's good to go. Turn it over there. I take my plate. I lay it on. The registration that I have got here. There it is. And now I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep the paper there for a minute. Where did I put that chine colle element? Here it is. I got a little piece of newsprint. I take a tiny amount of the rice paste. Tiny, tiny, tiny amount. Don't need much. And squeeze it on. And then I take the spatula and I spread it all out. Oh shoot. Spread it out all over the sheet of paper. I'll do a little bit more. And I can't move that piece of paper around. I don't want to get that rice paste on the other side. But I have to put it on upside down. So the glue's on this side. Glue is facing up. There it is. On there. There you go. Take my paper. The paper, I have a registration mark for the plate. There we go. There's the registration mark for the paper. And I place the paper on, so, and lay it on. Now I take, this piece of newsprint prevents prevents my expensive wool blankets from getting inkier, because they've already got ink on. They're messy. I'm a pig. But it does help. Now I put the blankets on. This is all set up to pressure already, and I run it through the press. Back and forth. I like the pressure nice and tight, you know. I love the pressure. The pressure of printmaking. And you'll be, now be very careful when you're moving. I don't have this screwed down, so I have to be careful I don't lurch it off the table. If it landed on my feet, or your feet in the workshop, it would do a lot of damage. So there we go. And there you have it. It's a print. You know, I don't know what it is. You know, with a bit of a chine colle element. Now this could be colored. I've just ripped that out as a book, you know. But here's the lines I made. You know, oddly enough, it kind of looks like little music in the air. There's music in the air. It's like the Black Lodge, you know, from David Lynch's Twin Peaks. But it's even this quick thing that I just literally threw together, it's not without its charm. Notice the plate tone on there. You know, I love that. People with a printmaking sensibility, love that as well. There is the plate mark. Now I could have filed that plate and burnished it, the edge of the plate, filed it down, you know, to an angle, and wiped it clean. But I like the plate mark. It establishes, you know, a sense of, it establishes a boundary within which to compose. I like that. I mean, I like to work inside the box. You know, everybody's outside of the box, and there's nobody left in the box. You know, I love the box. You know, so there you have it. Now I'll print one more, but I'm going to do it differently. This time, there's my paper. I've got the plate ready to go. I'm going to just put this down here. I'm going to do something quite different. I'm going to take my paper, blotted. I can't guarantee this will work that well. And this is an example of what you can do at home. You can, in fact, at least I have before, printed a dry point print without a press. So I take my paper. I should register. No, I can't do it on the bed. I'm just going to drop it on. I should have a registration thing. I'm just dropping this on. And then I'm going to take I'm going to take some paper towel, which will be in lieu of blankets. I won't use, you know, a blanket. I'll put some paper towel. And I'm going to see if I cannot rub like you would a relief print. I forgot to mention relief printing is another printmaking method. That's another type of method you can use at home without a press. You know, you carve lino or wood, you know, have the tools to do it and print. I forgot about that. I haven't done it for a while. So here, I just rub like I would a lino cut. I rub the plate. And I'm hoping that I'm pressing the paper down into the inked line. I'm hoping I'm doing it a little quickly, so I may miss something, but I hope not. Okay, this is boring for you, but so I'm going to cut it short a bit, and hopefully I've got everything. See what we got. Huh, well, of course I did it on the dirty inked piece of newsprint, but you can see that I've actually been able to draw the line out. This is all dirt because I did it on the dirty piece of inked newsprint. I could have kept rubbing a little more to get some of this out. It's a slightly different quality to what goes through the press, as you can see. You know, the line is oh gosh, you know, it's actually more like an etched line. That's quite nice. I like that. You know, it's got a little, you know, it's a little more ragged. You know, and I like it. You know, I might actually do some some of the small dry points, actually print them like this because I quite like it. You know, where this is a lot more, you know, defined. This has a kind of a subtler, nicer quality. So there you go. You can actually get a hold of plexiglass and a nail and scratch at. Scratch that plexiglass and print it by rubbing with a spoon and create I mean, you can do quite an elaborate drawing. You know, I don't think you can print big prints like this, but certainly you could make small prints. And I mean, you've even got plate tone here. I mean, it's quite a charming image, or not image, quality to the line. So you can keep printing at home. Anything else I need to do to sum up at the end? Any time left on the Yeah, we're still recording. So you can use plexiglass. In my room here, there are frames. These are plexiglass. It's plexiglass in the frames. You know, if you ever find an old frame that's being thrown out, it's plexiglass. You can print. You can scratch that plexiglass. You can score it with a knife and then break it to get it into smaller sizes if it's not too thick. You know, you can actually print, for example, well, on anything plastic. You could take a piece of mat board and varnish it. Varnish is varathane. Varathane it. That is plastic. And put lots of coats on, let it dry each time, and then you can scratch that mat board with the varathane on it, and it will make a dry point. You can take the inside of a UHT container or a plastic container from for the lettuce comes in. If you buy that, you know, cut the lid down, and you could actually scratch on that with a nail, and then you could do a dry point print of it. Essentially, you know, it's these are cheap, reusable materials. Okay.